Hey there everybody, just doing a review for this Powerness Hiker U300 portable power station. And so I will have a link to the product page for this power station and this solar panel right over here down in the description below. And so yeah, just taking a look at the box that the power station comes in. It does give you a label on what's on the power station right over here. And over on this side, it tells you the specifications. And that's really about it. And so what's included in the box with the power station is the manual, a car charging cable, and the AC charging brick. And for the solar panel itself, it just gives you the manual and the solar panel, and that's really about it. And so when it comes to the power station, it does have a small size. It has a 8 by 6 by 6 inch form factor, and it weighs about 7 pounds, 7.5 pounds, I believe. And so this is a lithium ion power station with a 296 watt hour capacity and a 300 watt max output. So if you're looking for a lithium iron phosphate mini power station, this may not be it for you. But however, when it comes to these type of mini lower capacity power stations, I still think it's worth getting them, even though they use lithium ion because of how low cost they are. And this is a pretty affordable power station because of its low capacity and low power output. And just taking a look at the front of the unit right over here, this is where you're going to be spending most of your time. It does have a LED flashlight right over here. You can just press it once to turn on its first setting. Press it again on its high setting right there, and press it one more time to turn on the SOS mode. And that's really about it. And so these are your output ports that you're going to be using. It does have two DC 5521 barrel ports that have a 60 watt output. It does have the cigarette lighter port that has a 120 watt output. For the charging ports, they're pretty good, I'd say, for a mini power station like this. It does have a USB-C port that can be used as the input to recharge the power station and as the output to charge your devices, and it has a 60 watt power delivery output. There is a single USB type A quick charge port, and there are two standard 12 watt USB type A ports. For the AC outlets, you get two AC outlets, and you're able to connect a 3-prong appliance to them. And this is the DC input port that you're going to be using to recharge the power station. And also you can use the USB-C port to recharge it as well. And so yeah, to activate each of the sections, you can just press the power button for each of them. And it's going to show up on the screen on what's activated and what's not. If it's not activated, it doesn't show up on the screen. And yeah, just like that. When I do turn on the AC outlet, the fan does turn on for just like 1 second right there. And it just automatically shuts off. So yeah, there we go. And so when it comes to the screen, it is bright and easy to read. It shows the remaining power capacity, what's activated on the power station, and also the wattage output. And also, as you probably saw, when I turn on this LED flashlight on the power station, it shows the wattage output for the flashlight, and it also shows the estimated runtime of the power station. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, everything's like just really big to read and easy to read on the screen. And at the top of the power station, there is a wireless charging pad that has a 10 watt output. And so yeah, that's really about it when it comes to an overview of the power station. It does have this handle at the top that makes it easier to hold and move around the unit. It can fold completely into the power station just like that. Over to the side, it does have the vent for the internal fan. Over the back, it does have the specifications. And yeah, with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing a DC capacity test for the power station. And then I'm going to move on to doing a AC capacity test and to see just how efficient the 296 watt hours is and how much you can use of it. All right, you guys, so I did run down the capacity for the Powerness power station down to 0%. And so what I ended up with was a 287 watt hour capacity, as you can see right there on the load tester. And so this is the DC capacity that is. And so that gave me about a 96% efficiency rating. So you're able to use practically all of the 296 watt hour original capacity of this power station. A really good efficiency from the DC outlet. And I'm just going to get this charged up again to run the AC capacity test to see how much I can pull from the AC outlets. And so yeah, the DC capacity is really good on this power station. I did run the test for about 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yeah, just wow, really good. Having this type of DC capacity efficiency isn't always the case. Some power stations have much lower efficiency, but whatever they did in this case, they did a really good job. And yeah, I'll be right back to start that AC capacity test. All right, you guys, so just gonna run a AC capacity test for this Powerness power station. I'm using the AC watt meter right over here. I'm just going to come back once the power station is at 0% to check on the AC capacity efficiency that I'm able to pull from it. And so the DC capacity efficiency was really, really good. One of the best I've seen with the power station. And so I'm going to be back in about 1.3 hours right there that it says on the screen. The current output of the power station is 240 watts. And yeah, we're currently at 99%, and I'll be right back. I do have the crock pot on high, and so I'm just going to be right back to see about that AC capacity efficiency. Alright guys, so I did finish up the AC capacity test with the crock pot using the Powerness power station, and so what I ended up with was 260 watt hours, and that gave me about a 87% efficiency rating right over here. And yeah, you're able to use most of the power capacity from the power station when you're powering something from the AC outlets, and so yeah, I'm not complaining right there. Usually when it comes to the AC outlet capacity, the efficiency is lower, because with the DC capacity, as we saw, I scored a really high percentage efficiency, and in this case, it's just slightly lower, which is fine. But yeah, this fits into a really good range, and 2 thumbs up for the overall power capacity efficiency of this Powerness power station. Alright you guys, so just here testing out the recharging for the Powerness power station, and I do have a pretty weird setup going on right here because the Powerness power station does not feature a wattage input reading on the screen. It only shows the wattage output, which is kind of strange because a power station like this, you would expect it to have a wattage input reading on the screen, but it does not. So I have to settle for using this Growatt Vita 550 power station to recharge this power station so I can actually know how many watts I'm inputting into the unit. So yeah, I mean, a bit of a letdown right there. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and start using the AC charging brick that's included in the box with the Powerness power station to see how much watts I'm able to get into it. And so the AC charging brick is able to recharge the unit at about 70 watts right there, as you can see on the Vita 550 screen. And let me check out if dual recharging is available as well, just by plugging in the USB-C port right there. And yeah, you can recharge from the USB-C port and the AC charging brick at the same time for this Powerness power station, and you're able to get a 120 watt recharge speed for it, which can recharge the unit that has a 296 watt hour capacity within about 2.5 hours, I would say. So I highly recommend using the dual recharging method for recharging this power station. And also, let me just check out what the recharging speed is when I use the included car charger, also included in the box with the Powerness power station. So where is the cable? Okay, there we go. There we go. And we're able to get about 73 watts right there. Yeah, so car charging is probably going to be the slowest way to recharge this power station right over here. Yeah, because I'm able to get like only 45 watts right there. And yeah, there we go. That is the recharging for the Powerness 300 watt power station. I'm just going to head on outside for the solar recharging test as well. I'm going to be using Powerness's own 80 watt solar panel that they did send over for me to test out. Oh, and I also almost forgot to test out if this power station features pass-through charging, and it does. I'm not using the Vita 550 power station to recharge the unit because I'm filming this at a different time. But yeah, I am using the dual recharging method right over here, and I'm powering this crock pot from the AC outlet. And AC pass-through charging is possible with this Powerness power station. However, I'm still losing power because I'm outputting 240 watts, and I'm recharging the power station at 120 watts. But on the bright side, AC pass-through charging is available with this small unit, so that's good. Alright you guys, so just outside with the 80 watt solar panel from Powerness, and I am recharging the 300 watt power station. Currently a pretty clear sky day, and so I'm getting some pretty good sun exposure on the panels, but of course I don't know the wattage input on the power station because it doesn't show the wattage input, the recharging speed for the power station on the screen. So I have to rely on the screen on the solar panel right over here, and it's reading about 10 volts at about 2.8 amps. Is that it? I can't really see it, but yeah, I mean, I think that's about like what, 28 watts right now. I do want to place the solar panel flat on the ground because I think that's going to be the best sun exposure throughout the day, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. Unfortunately, but I think it's going to be fine. And the power station itself is currently at 3%, and I'm just going to come back to see the progress on the solar recharging to see how it goes. It's currently like 12 o'clock right now, and I'll just be back to see the solar recharging progress. Alright you guys, so just back at 3:30, started the test at about 12 o'clock, And the power station was at 3% when I started the solar recharging test with this Powerness solar panel, and now the unit is at 52%. I'm pretty sure I could have gotten a better solar recharging if I had just moved the solar panel into a better area. I did have it right over there on the grass, but I just moved it over here for better sun exposure. But I'm just going to end the solar recharging test right now. But yeah, I mean, this is actually pretty decent, going from 3% to 52% in the span of about like 3 hours. And even then, the sun exposure on the panels wasn't optimal because I had some trees in the way. As you can see, the sun exposure right over there isn't the best. Well, actually, it's actually pretty good. What am I saying? But it wasn't before. But yeah, anyways, solar recharging does work well. The only thing is that I'm not able to see the wattage input on the screen for the power station. This is kind of a first for me with a power station like this. Instead, you have to look at the screen on the solar panel itself that's on the back side. But when you look at the screen, you have to move the panel, and the sun exposure on the panels becomes pretty bad. Then the voltage and the amperage that you see on the screen over the back side of the panel isn't accurate. So yeah, I mean, the panel performs well. It's just that the design of the power station not showing the input wattage is just a really poor design in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, solar charging works really well. And also another thing is that this solar panel is designed for charging other power stations, not just Powerness's own power stations. So that's also a big plus right there. And so yeah, the solar panel is efficient and solar charging went well. Alright you guys, so just doing a quick charging test for the charging ports on the Powerness power station. And right here I'm charging my Lenovo laptop from the 60 watt USB-C power delivery port. I'm currently getting about a 25 watt recharging speed. And I'm charging my Galaxy Note 9 from the USB Type A quick charge port, and it is able to fast charge it. And so yeah, the charging ports are working how they're supposed to. I was trying to recharge my Excitris power bank that has a 100 watt USB-C input speed. However, the power bank just kept trying to recharge this Powerness power station because the USB-C port is a input and a output. So if you guys have any idea how to make the power station actually output into a rechargeable USB-C power bank, let me know because I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, other than that, charging works how it's supposed to from this unit. And also, let me test out the wireless charging at the top. Let me just go ahead and just place my phone right over here in the middle. And fast wireless charging is available. The wireless charging speed maxes out at 10 watts, I believe. And it works because it's able to fast wirelessly charge my Galaxy Note 9. So yeah, there we go. Alright you guys, so just doing a AC output test right over here. I do have these two crock pots. Yes, the crock pots once again that are probably in every one of my reviews. But anyways, I do have this large crock pot set to its high setting. I have the mini one set to its high setting, and I'm currently outputting 348 watts from the Powerness power station, which is, you know, a bit over its max 300 watt AC output. And so I'm just gonna have this run for about 10 minutes to see if the power station is able to handle this, and then I'm just gonna come right back to see if the power station is still able to power these two crock pots simultaneously. I mean, if the capacity even lasts that long, because we're looking at about 0.4 hours of runtime right now. And yeah, I'm going to be right back to see if the power station is able to handle this 350 watt output continuously. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I was able to run these two crock pots simultaneously for about 10 minutes, and the power station is still running. So yeah, there we go. I suppose the inverter doesn't have a 300 watt hard limit. You're able to run, you know, a bit over that 300 watt. However, at the same time, when I do run these crock pots simultaneously from a power station, some power stations have different wattage output readings. Like on the GMM power station that I've recently reviewed, these two units had about a 270 watt output altogether, and in this case I'm getting a 348 watt output. So not too sure what's happening right there. But yeah, the unit is able to handle these with no problems, and it's been running for about 11 minutes now. And let me go ahead and just grab my heater real quick, my Lasco heater, to see what happens if I go over the 300 watt output like by a lot. And so yeah, I'll be right back to test that out. All right, you guys, so just back with the heater. I'm just going to turn it on to its low setting to see what happens with the power station. Of course, I don't expect this power station to run. I'm pretty sure it's going to automatically turn off in just a few seconds when the heater turns on. So let me just go ahead and test that out real quick. So I'm just going to set it to its low setting right there. And we're going to just, yeah, there we go. That's what happens when you go over the 300 watt output by a lot. When I reached the 400 watt range, the power station practically just shut down completely. And to turn it back on, then you just have to press the AC button and press it again to activate the AC inverter once again. And you're ready to use it again. There we go. Yeah, really not much to it. I would consider this power station to have a 350 watt limit instead of a 300 watt hard limit. All right, you guys. So when it comes to the build quality for this Powerness power station, it's all right. It's just built like any other power station, really. There's something wrong with the build quality. It's just made of plastic. You know, just keep it away from water and don't drop it, and you're gonna be all right. And other than that, it's just built like any other power station. Even higher tier brands and lower tier brands, they mainly are made of plastic to keep the cost down and to keep the weight light. All right, you guys, this is my final thoughts for the Powerness Hiker U300 portable power station. It's a good unit. The fact that it doesn't feature lithium iron phosphate batteries is fine with me. For these smaller power stations, I don't think they need lithium iron phosphate. I think using lithium ion just keeps the cost down for these mini power stations. And if you're getting a mini power station in the first place, you want it to be affordable. And that's what I think lithium ion batteries will do for these. They don't really require lithium iron phosphate, in my opinion. It's for those larger capacity, higher output power stations where using lithium iron phosphate is more worth it. But a pretty big letdown for this power station is that it doesn't feature a input wattage reading when you're recharging the power station. Just in general, with power stations like these, even lower capacity ones, you would just expect a wattage input reading to be there on the screen, but instead you just get a output wattage reading on the screen. The screen itself is good to look at. It's bright and easy to read, and also it's a big plus that you get a estimated runtime on the screens. I mean, so that's good at least. And so yeah, I mean, overall, a pretty solid unit. I will have a link to this power station down in the description below. I will also have a link to the review article over at chargerharbor.com. You can find that also down in the description. And I will see you all on the next video, all right? Goodbye.